Certificate of Live Birth, 56F forms, and trust filings in administrative and private capacities. 1. Certificate of Live Birth. The Certificate of Live Birth functions as a security instrument evidencing a registered entity within the U.S. commercial system. It is distinguished from the hospital-issued birth certificate, which acts as the origin record of the natural person. The Certificate of Live Birth represents a legal fiction created upon registration and is associated with a governmental trust account. The name shown, in all capital letters, denotes a construct under legal control by the state unless lawfully claimed. Footnote: the Certificate of Live Birth is the cornerstone document evidencing state-created identity and trust formation under U.S. commercial law. 2. Form 56F filings and fictional trust entities. Form 56F is required to identify fiduciary relationships with trusts or estates and to establish notice with the IRS regarding such capacity. For estate filings, Box 1 should contain the name of a decedent's estate, e.g., Thomas Wilder Estate, SS Trusta Elam, identifying the fictional estate and associated trust. For a foreign grantor trust, a separate Form 56F must be submitted. Fiduciaries such as individual banker are used to denote private fiduciary roles. The foreign grantor trust is private, not subject to public lien structures, and exists outside U.S. taxing authority. Footnote: Form 56F is the formal IRS mechanism for fiduciaries to declare their relationship to an estate or trust, including foreign entities. 3. Fiduciary designation and private trust formation. When filing for a foreign grantor trust, the fiduciary acts on behalf of a private, non-U.S. trust not subject to ordinary IRS lien systems. In contrast to Social Security-based trusts, no outstanding obligations exist unless voluntarily declared. The fiduciary's title individual banker reflects private legal capacity, not public office. For mirrored filings, estate and trust documents are often symmetrical except for distinctions in Parts 2 and 3 of IRS Form 56F and relevant trust declarations. Footnote: fiduciary designation allows private individuals to operate trusts outside the jurisdiction of U.S. lien and tax frameworks. 4. Name correction and legal status of fiction. Changing the registered name format from all capital letters to upper and lowercase through decree serves to reassert control over the legal fiction. This action distinguishes the living man or woman from the corporate entity and facilitates lawful claim over the estate created in their name. The capitalized name represents intangible property which may be lawfully claimed. The legal fiction is acknowledged in legal systems but is separate from the living being. Footnote: reformatting the name via court decree asserts dominion over the fiction and separates the living party from the commercial construct. 5. Jurisdictional strategy and court access. Recording documents into the public record often encounters resistance from county clerks. Strategies include mailing documents across state lines, invoking supervisor or commissioner authority to direct clerks, and invoking mailing statutes that bind officials upon receipt. Proper recordation establishes lawful standing. Officials who refuse to record upon lawful presentation may be liable under federal mail statutes or civil claims. Footnote: county supervisors possess statutory authority to compel recordation when clerks obstruct public filings. 6. Role of mail and constructive delivery. Mailing documents is a lawful means of recordation. Delivery across a clerk's counter with proper postage and stamps constitutes legal mailing. Upon receipt, the document is lawfully entered. Refusal to acknowledge receipt constitutes mail fraud and can be escalated through complaints. A global postal stamp affixed to a document supports this interpretation of jurisdiction and delivery. Footnote: mailing creates legal evidence of delivery and triggers statutory obligations for county and court officers. 7. County authority and ecclesiastical court function. County commissioners serve as the highest lawful authority in local recordation and land matters. They may function as a tribunal, particularly in property or boundary disputes. These commissioners can override clerical resistance by ordering filings into the county record. This structure reflects ecclesiastical and land court traditions predating the corporate court systems. Footnote: County commissioners hold ultimate authority over recordation of land and estate documents at the local level. 8. Commercial courts, judicial liens, and identity theft. Courts operate as commercial banks, issuing judicial liens masquerading as criminal or civil judgments. These are internal ledger entries not filed in land records. They function through identity theft, converting the living man or woman into a debtor entity. Tax forms such as IRS Forms 13,909, 14,242, 3949A, and 14,039 may be used to report misconduct or tax fraud related to such activity. Footnote: Commercial courts apply judicial liens based on misidentified identity to generate fraudulent debt instruments. 9. Homestead exemptions and protection of property. Private property can be shielded from commercial liens by filing a homestead exemption or reclaiming title through affidavit and lawful claims. This removes property from the commercial ledger. Documents such as SF 1047 and acceptance for value statements are tools used to assert legal status and demand return of improperly held assets or taxation. Footnote: Homestead filings and commercial affidavits protect property by asserting lawful exemption from public taxation and lien. 10. Land title fraud and corrective measures. Land title transfers via warranty or quitclaim deeds often exclude lawful bill of sale or wet ink contracts. Banks generally do not sign title transfers, operating through fraud by converting property into security. True title exists in the original bill of sale. The owner holds equitable title and must assert lawful claim to remove the state's beneficial interest and prevent monetization by third parties. Footnote: Most land transfers conceal true ownership by omitting properly signed bilateral agreements or recorded bills of sale. 11. International organizational status and trust registration. A naturalized or birthright individual is considered an international organization under the U.S. banking system. Each state is a separate nation under commercial law. Registration of birth or naturalization confers a commercial identity. This status enables protection under international law and allows invocation of exemptions and immunities from U.S. statutes. Footnote: Both natural-born and naturalized individuals are commercial entities and protected international organizations within U.S. commercial law. 12. Ecclesiastical origins of local law. Historically, local trustees and commissioners resolved disputes via ecclesiastical courts rooted in land law. The U.S. system of township trustees and commissioners mirrors these traditions. These courts were not subject to foreign, federal or bar authority. The erosion of these courts occurred with the imposition of foreign corporate courts operating under the color of law post 1933. Footnote: Township and county courts historically functioned as ecclesiastical courts overseeing land and property disputes. 13. Use of IRS forms and enforcement mechanisms. Various IRS and Treasury forms can be used to compel accountability from fraudulent public and quasi-public entities. These include IRS Forms 13,909, Exempt Organization Complaint, 3949A, Tax Fraud Referral, 14,242, Abusive Tax Schemes, 14,039, Identity Theft, and SF 1047, Claim for Property. Proper use requires identification of commercial liens, fraudulent debt claims, and identity misappropriation. Footnote: Federal complaint and claim forms serve as legal tools to report tax fraud, identity theft, and improper lien enforcement. 14. Governmental bankruptcy and the creation of fictitious assets. The U.S. bankruptcy of 1933 resulted in the transfer of all gold and lawful assets into federal custody. Certificates of title and identity were created to collateralize debt and register living persons as corporate entities. These titles were then monetized. Birth, marriage, property, and vehicle titles all became instruments of commercial collateralization. Footnote: the 1933 bankruptcy led to mass asset registration, transforming the population into collateral for public debt. 15. Status, remedy, and jurisdiction. Only by asserting original jurisdiction under land, ecclesiastical, or common law can a living man or woman escape commercial administrative enforcement. Remedy is available through affidavits of status, homestead declarations, and SF 1047-based claims. Legal status must be established before attempting to correct third-party situations or assist others. Internal remedies require self-actualization and proper standing. Footnote: jurisdictional remedy is only accessible after the individual lawfully reclaims status and separates from the commercial fiction. Let me know if you want the footnotes collected or turned into a citation page.